Okay, so last session we discussed about how do we design and work with tables. So all various attributes related to table I given you. We learned table tags and we learned how to use table attributes, how to use them. I will show you one small example how to use tables inside another table, means nested tables. One small example we will see nested tables. How do we work with the nested tables? Somebody have doubt? Yes, Rohit, what is your doubt?
Sir, in 2 days my PC is not open this link.
Uh, what?
Zoom meeting is not open in my laptop 2 days.
What is not opening?
Zoom meeting, sir.
What is not opening for you?
Sir, Zoom meeting, Zoom meeting, sir. I, yeah,
Then
yeah.
how you are attending now?
So mobile, sir.
You contact admin and hardware people. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Right. So we will see simple concept of nested tables, how we can work with nested tables. Nested table is nothing but table inside another table. Actually, we use such designs for presenting complex data. Suppose you see here, for example, you see Amazon. In this Amazon, you can see this card. Actually, carefully, if you look at this card, this is one row. This is one row. In that row, you can see cleanly how many columns are there? 3. This is column 1, column 2, and column 3. Again, in every column, in every cell, you see this is one row. So this is another row. So this is another row. So 3, and this is another row. Like this, we can design. Understood? And in this again, how the options are there. This contains 2 columns. This contains 2 columns. Understood? Now above is merging, below is merging. So merging 2 columns, and it is in the content between. That is the card actually. That is the card. That means we have a table inside another table. We are having multiple tables. Let's design this and see how we can create this. We will see one simple example. Can you close that? So let's see how we can design this now. So first you need to understand this structure, and we need to replicate. Only currently one row is enough in a table. Let's do this. First we will copy these pictures, bed sheets and curtains. Suppose pick one. Okay. Yeah. This is in our full stack application, right? Yeah. Public images. So this is pick one. Okay. Now we have this save image. So pick 2. And this is pick 3. And this is pick 4. 4. Okay. That's we designed. We copied those images. Now let's go here and create one table. I will give Amazon home HTML. Here we are designing doc type HTML head title. So tables, I will give the title as tables. In the body section, we are designing a table. No T head, T body, T foot, because they are required only when you are presenting data with headings and all. If there are no headings and data, just you need to configure a row. That's it. Now in the row, we will put 3 cells. This is cell 1 and cell 2 and cell 3. 3 cells. Now currently there is nothing here, empty. We have empty. We will put table with the border as 1. Okay. And here I will keep width is equal to 100%. 100% width. And for table row, I will give height as some 300. It will be in this way. And for table, we will use frame is equal to void, and the cell spacing is some 30. It will be in this way. Now we will use cell padding also. Cell padding as 4 or 5 pixel I will give. That's enough. This is cell spacing. Height depending on your requirement. Now we have these 3 cells. This is a table actually. In the table, we have 3 cells. In this again, now in the first cell, we need another table. And this table should fit up to the width 100% of that cell. And this table should have 3 rows. As per this design, it should have 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So it should have 4 rows. TR, first row, and in that one cell, TR, second row. Oh, TR is second row. In the 2 cells, this is cell 1 and cell 2. Third row also 2 cells, cell 1 and cell 2. Fourth row, again 1 cell. We have to define. And this table is also having border, but we don't want, just for our understanding sake. Just for our understanding sake, we define. And row here, you see height I am giving. You cannot give the percentage here, because that is according to content inside it. Right here, I defined the height as, suppose same, the height is 300 pixel, then it will be in this way. I want that to happen for all the rows, depending on row contents, right? I am not giving that as of now, because we will put contents later and adjust it. As of now, these are the rows we are having inside table, but we don't want border. We don't want border for table inside, because we don't want to show it like table. But it is a table without border, right? In that first row, we should have this one. So revamp your, this is the first cell. And here you can keep anything. If you want effective, then you can keep here a heading. In heading, you can keep like this. In table cell, you can keep anything, paragraph, headings, images, anything. Now you can see it looks like this. So, but important is, I will give one thing, style. we will keep body font family Arial. Everywhere it will change to Arial. This is the original size actually. This is original size. Now important is here, this should merge two columns because others are in two columns. That means here we have to use what? Call span. Call span is 2. Okay. Similarly, now in the second row, first cell, in the second row, first cell, we want this picture under that, this content, bed sheets, curtains, and more. Okay. Now we will keep here image source is equal to, so public images, in that we have pic1.jpg, and below that we will put a paragraph. In that paragraph we will keep the options what we need, bed sheets, curtains, and more. So that sentence, yeah, I will type. So yeah, so bed sheets, curtains, and more. Okay, like this I define. That is the content below that, right? And home decoration, second. This is okay. I will copy this. And in the cell beside it, here we will have pic2. And here we will write home decoration. We are defining home decoration. It will be in this way. So let's keep another option now. Here another same. This is pic3, and here pic4. Titles we need to change accordingly. So these are the options we have. Right now, pic3, pic4. So home storage, lighting solutions. So I will change them here. Home storage and lighting solutions like this. Lighting solutions like this. Okay, and one more is explore all. Here we need a link. Anchor href is equal to, I just given hash explore all, and this also call span is what? 2. So it will display in this way. That means we are defining that here in this way. That's the option we have. And for links, we don't want any anchor. Text decoration is what? None. It's removed. Okay. Now what about the height and width of the contents and everything? Actually, this is only one cell here, one row. And in that cell, you displayed all these contents. You have a table defined everything into it. Similarly, I have 3 cells to display. This is the cell copy, and I will use another table. In second cell, another table. In third cell, another table. You put different content inside them. They look like this now. So all these contents, they look like this now. Height and width, we need to adjust. We have to configure for the images. So wherever we are using in table cell space image, that means in table cell, wherever images are there. So width, I will give as 50%. Height, I am giving as 50%. The width and height will reduce like this. So I am just giving as some 100%. So width will fit like this, height also 100%. It will fit in this way. And width and height is adjusted for that. And we will have some more options here. Another option is inner table also. Inner table, that means table inside, also should have cell spacing, right? We need cell spacing between that. 20 I will give here. Inner cell also some space will come. We need to adjust the height, width of the content accordingly and define. And important, it depends on where you are displaying the contents and how much width and height images you are configuring here. Now you can see this is the content. And see, every row don't have a height defined. That is the reason these are uneven, right? Every row can have a proper height configured and defined. Here we are not configuring a standard height here. That means we can put standard height, we can keep alignments, everything correctly configured. Depends, right? That means what you can do. Suppose I just given cell padding to this. I have to give for everyone. Suppose I need some height of every row to adjust. Suppose this row height must be standard. All must be same because according to the titles, it should change. That means every row height, here I given height is suppose 100. That means it will adjust the row height. Same you have to give for all of them. And you already learned alignment. You can keep top alignment, you can keep bottom alignment, center alignment, vertical. I just copied the same contents. You can copy different. You can copy different. So this you can try with others now. You can try with others. Just I showed you an example for your practice. That means to show you that a table can have a table inside. A table can have a table inside. And very important is actually you can define. So for example, TD, we can put box shadow. I can keep box shadow 2 pixel, 2 pixel, 3 pixels, some gray, like table cell shadow is there. You can see it will be like this. You can see clearly now the difference between every option. Every cell can have padding, right? Suppose I given padding as 5 pixel, then it will have some padding between the contents. That means alignments and everything, if you want to keep it correctly, then you have to use these techniques. But I don't want shadow for every table, right? I want only for inner table, outer table. Then what you do, better give IDs. You give class names because I don't want to apply to every table. Then you have to define by using this technique. So this is combination of tables and working with them. This is not required, just I given and simple option for you. So if I don't give any box shadow, just only padding for every cell, it will be in this way. Right? Alignments and everything you have to write now according to the requirement. This is table. For example, see below this row, you see this is first row. Now under this, you see after this row is finished, I am adding one more row. In that we have a cell. So call span is 3. And this row have height as suppose 200 pixels. Then that row is having height with 200 pixels like this below. Now here I can put an image. Suppose I have an image like in the shopping websites, they have some banners like this, right? They have some banners like this. Suppose I want like this, save image as some banner. I'm using the banner JPG file there and I am adding that here. So image source is equal to / public images banner.jpg. And you can see, so it contains that banner and displays. This is one table only. In one table, we are designing all these options. spacing, padding, everything according to your requirements. How you want to configure, you can define that. So under this, again, I want 3 columns. Of course, same like above row, you can copy. That means what I am doing here, the above row, whatever is designed above that row, I'm copying that row, and below this, I'm adding that row again. And this time it looks in this way, right? That means we are organizing everything into rows and columns. Wherever you want, you can keep merge and you can keep center. Wherever you want, you can put separate. Inside the table, another table. In that table, another table. Any level you can design. Any level you can configure. This is a basic example of designing and working with the tables, right? This is one small example I will copy for your reference sake. Nested tables. That means nested table means here I will give a point. You can define a table inside another table. Just how you do. So we have a TD. In the TD, you can have another table. You can configure another table. So table inside another table always should be kept inside TD only. You should not directly keep in TR, or directly you should not keep inside table. Suppose you are writing table, you should not write like this again. Anything you have to keep is to be inside the cell TD. Or you can keep in TH, but TH is heading style. We don't want that. So you can give inside table by using this. And of course, you know that this TD will be in TR. So you cannot directly put a TD also. This TD must be inside TR. In the table row, you will have TD. So this is one example. I will paste this example that I designed. So this is creating and configuring the tables. So you try this example. I will upload some exercises. You try to design those exercises. Means with the help of tables, you must able to design the exercises I will upload into class. I will upload into class. You will get that as assignment. You submit there those exercises related to tables. Right. This is all working with tables in HTML. Now, very important, after understanding tables, we need to know about forms in HTML. This is very big concept. And this is very important for web development. So this knowledge of forms is important in future everywhere, wherever you are working with web technologies. Even people working on various technologies like .NET, PHP, Python, all these people need to have a knowledge of forms in HTML. So technically, what is a form and how the forms are used? Technically, how the forms are used. Actually, you should know that form is a container. Technically, form is a container that provides various controls. It is a container that provides various controls to interact with application and data. That is actual concept of form. Form is a container, and this form container provides lot of controls to interact with application and data. So I will give you one simple example. So here, first observe carefully. Suppose we have some college, and in this college, college related all details are stored in a database. College related all information is stored in a database software like some Oracle or like MySQL or MongoDB, like that. Now, college related data means students, faculties, everybody's information is kept inside this. Now, actually, in the database, data is present in tables. Tables contains rows and columns data arranged. And to insert, we need some languages like SQL. We need query languages for inserting, updating, deleting, and all, right? To do various operations, you need all these. To do various operations, you need all these. Now, what happens here is we have a college front office. We have a college office. In the office, there is a computer given to a computer operator. That means in the front office, we have a computer operator. That means we have a reception or we have our HR people. Now, very important is students registration, fees, payments, everything. Those details they need to store in the database of that particular application. Now the point is these people are completely not aware of any software programming. That means these people are just computer operators. That means they just know MS Office like things, preparing letters, documents, and all basic computer operating. They are not programmers. Then without any programming, how they can insert a student information in the database? How they can insert information in the student database? How they can read information from the database? How they can modify? Then what we do is, as a developer, so what we do is we design user interface. And this user interface contains actually a form. That user interface contains a form. Now what they will do is, in the form, they will provide what they need. And this will come, that means backend, we will write all the logic. Backend, we write all the logic. That means we build application, we design the interface, we will give only form to the screen. Now from in the form, they will select which department, what is the student name, enter the name, fees, everything, and they will just click on submit button. So that information comes to the application logic. From there, it inserts into the database. That means they don't need to be aware of anything in the backend. We need to provide a good interface from where they can interact with the data in the backend. That interface is form. That means form provides an interface from where user can interact with the data. He can view what we can do with the form. So form provides an UI for interactions like view, like edit, like update and delete, right? Insert and delete like operations. We can view, we can modify, we can update, we can insert, we can delete. All such activities we can do by using form. So designing forms is very much important for web application. Without forms also, we can have a web application. But what is the intention of form? It allows interaction. Suppose I want to ask a question. For example, I opened a website like Naresh IT. Now in Naresh IT website, I can see what courses they are providing. Everything is available. But if I want to ask a question like when a batch is going to start, then where to ask? then they have to provide a form to me. They have to provide a form like this. In the form, I will fill up the details, my name, first name, what kind of training I want, and I will submit. And when I submit, that information is sent to them. They will respond to you. That means we are providing an interface, and the main purpose of this interface is to allow interaction. To allow interaction. That is what actually form. And technically, remember, form comprises of various types of controls like you will have buttons, you will have text box, you will have check box, you will have radio, you will have list box. So many will be there. That means a form contains combination of lot of things like buttons, text box, check box, radios, list box, and all of these things. For example, I will show you here simple. See, suppose I am using format font. When I open this format font, a small dialog box came here. Now in this dialog box, observe carefully. In this dialog box, this is called as, we call it as text box. And this is called as list box. We call it as list box. And this is called as, I hope you already know it. You already know it. What is its name? Field set. You have seen field set, na? Field set with legend. What is that sample? Sample is a field set, na? That is a field set with a legend, right? It is a field set with a legend. And inside that you have some data. Now you can see here, this is called drop down list. It is called drop down list. And these are called buttons. You know them, right? These are called buttons. So these are called buttons. And very important, all these are present in a rectangular box. Am I right? In a rectangular box. That rectangular box is called form. Understood? So technically form is a container. In that form, all these are present. That means form is a collection of controls. So like buttons, text box, check box, radios, all are present inside the form. So technically form is a container. In the form container, it contains all these controls. So what is the purpose? You can view the details. You can insert the details. You can modify the details. You can submit the details. So many actions you can do by using the form. So now we have to design such forms for interaction. So in HTML, so we have to design the forms. So technically form contains all these and we have to design the forms. Let's see how to do that. For that, first important is you need to know the form container. First important, because everything is present inside form. So first you need to know form container. Technically, form container is designed by using form element. Container is designed by using form. Form will start and form will end. And it is an empty container. It doesn't have anything inside it. By default, form is empty. form is empty. That means how we can create, let's see. I will create a simple page here. I will create a simple page, some register.html. And you see here, I'm designing doc type HTML head title register. And in the body section, here I'm defining. Simply, I'm configuring a form. And visually, form have nothing to show you. It is empty. It's a container, just empty box. Now inside, just for your understanding sake, I will put a style wherever form is there. Let me put some width, some 400, and height, so some 300, and we will put some border as 1 pixel solid, some black. So, and you can see actually the form looks like this. Technically, form is a container. There is nothing inside it, empty. Now, very important is for this form, we have some attributes. How to design controls inside it, we will see. Form contains a lot of attributes which are very important. So, while designing the form, so form comprises of various attributes. Form comprises of various attributes. What are the attributes in the form? Let's see. First important attribute in the form is when you design a form, technically, when you configure the form, form will have a name, form will have an ID, and form, I'll just give number here, name, ID, and form will have class. These three are common. These three are common for every control. Every control can have a name, can have an ID, and have a class. Not only for form, everywhere you can use. I told you, we will technically discuss the differences in CSS. What is ID, what is class, but already some differences we know. So name is used for reference, and name can be common. If you want unique, then you have to give an ID, and name and ID can take only one value. If you want multiple values, you can define a class. Class can take multiple values. Name and ID can refer to only one, right? So technically, every form contains ID, name, class. These are very common. So we just use form. We have an ID. Suppose I give an FRM register, have a name, some register form. So we have a class like some form control. I will say like form register. Like this we can give. These are nothing but just references. So we can have an ID, we can have a name, and we can have a class. These are very helpful later when you are working with JavaScript, jQuery, interacting with the forms. So we can use these ID, name, references, and all. Class is used for defining styles, if you want to define styles. So these three are common attributes: name, ID, and class. Next, very important attribute is method. This is very important. And in many interviews, several people ask questions on this. In many interviews, people ask questions on this. So actually, now we have good requirements in our UI development. So many people are there. Recently, our previous, the batch before you, 6 p.m. batch, they finished HTML, CSS, and Bootstrap. And they just started JavaScript now. They've finished only CSS and Bootstrap. And the people from that batch, one of the person from there, I'll show you his details actually. Actually, the people for this, yeah. And they just finished CSS and HTML from our batch. And this person so got a job in Tech Mahindra with 6 lakh package as a fresher in UI technologies, and they finished just only CSS. HTML, CSS only done. JavaScript just started for that batch. If you are practicing well, you are doing good exercises and all. Another girl from the morning batch in 9 a.m. batch, she got placed in Infosys with 4 lakh package. So these are means if you practice well what we are learning in class, that is enough. You don't need to try anything extra, not required, right? You just do what I give in the class, that's enough at any level, right? This is not yet batch finished, just started. They finished their HTML, CSS and Bootstrap, and JavaScript started. They started attempting into various interviews, and if they are see, generally what companies do is, even you don't have knowledge of JavaScript and others, they will ask you how much percent you finished, you tell, then they say, okay, design this and show us. You can design, that's very good, rest of work they will take care. That means they will say that, okay, they will take you and we will give you training on what we need for you from you. That means they initially see the practical skills. If you are not practically good, that is very tough. You cannot handle interviews, you cannot crack UI. But if you can practically do good, so many opportunities are there, and it's very easy in UI development these days, right? And so I will keep on posting some job opportunities after you finish Bootstrap. Not too early, because this is too early. You are not yet done with your HTML. Once we done that, I will post you the job opportunities. That means I will send you some requirements. Our campus drives will be happening in our Naresh Technologies. We will have campus drives regularly. Tech Mahindra regularly comes to our campus for equipments. So and so we can share your profiles. We can share your profiles so that practicing so makes perfect, right? And I will share the profiles of the people who are regularly doing exercises and submitting. Understood? Because these all people are very well known to us. Even their HRs, their project managers directly talk to us, MNCs these, and they directly talk to us about the requirement. They will say that, they generally say that these knowledge people you recommend to us, we will conduct an interview and we will take them. And Tech Mahindra came with more than 100 requirements, and just last week they have done a drive, and in that few people selected from various technologies. This person got from our UI technologies. Another girl from Infosys got placed in Infosys. So you need practice, and I will recommend only people who are doing exercises and practice, right? Because we can't forward everybody's details to those people, because we need to show some credibility, right? These are worthy people, we can conduct interview on them, right? If I get that confidence on you, I can promote that, right? So here you practice all the exercises what is given to you, right? Now here now what is the concept of method? Already I told you here, again this person came, who is it? Aslam. I already discussed it so many times about this. If you are not active in the class, at the end I will talk to you. Already so many times I explained. Again today I explained, what is difference between ID. Again he is asking the same question. What is difference between ID name and class? Right. So here, now let's see. The point is, What is difference? Already you know, ID is unique. Name can be common, but they can take only single value. Multiple means class. I showed you how what is difference between ID and class while working with styles also, right? More details you will learn in CSS. Okay. Now, technically, what is method? What is method? What is the concept of method? Let's see. Actually, in order to understand that, you need to know one small concept. Suppose we have an object. Suppose I will give an object like general example. We have some ball. So this ball is suppose having a yellow color. So that means the ball have certain dimensions. Here you see border is black and fill is yellow, and radius is some 5. So this is the physical description of that particular element. That means how it looks like. That means the height, the width, the color, how it looks like. These are considered as properties. We call them as properties. Properties define how an object looks like. Height, width, color, all these comes under properties. Next important is ball. What ball can do is ball can fly, ball can explode, explode, and the ball can roll, suppose, or ball can bounce. That means ball can do a lot of things like it can fly, it can explode, it can roll, it can bounce. That means what ball can do. What ball can do. That means a ball can do all these things. So these are called methods. These are called methods. Methods means what actions it can do. So it can bounce, it can fly, it can explode, it can roll. All these are the actions. Now the question is when it can do this. When it can fly. That means I can throw. I can throw. I can throw the ball. I can kick the ball. Right? I can pin the ball. I can throw the ball. I can kick the ball. I can pin the ball. I can do some things. Now, when I throw, then what it will do is it will fly, or it will roll, or it will bounce. When I kick, it can fly, roll, or bounce. When I pin, it can explode. When I pin, it can explode. That means when these methods are performed, when you are kicking, when you are pinning, and when you are throwing. These are called events. These are called events. Technically, an object comprises of 3 things: properties, methods, and events. Properties tell how the object looks like. Methods tell what it can do. And events will tell when it will do those. I will take a technical example now. Let's take a technical example now. This is a general example. This is a general example. Let's take a technical example now. For example, we have a button called print. We have a button called print. And this button print is having width as 100 pixels, height as 40 pixels, and text as print. So what are these? We call these as properties. These are the properties of button. What this button can do? Button can print, button can save, button can open, button can close, button can do a lot of other things. But currently, what this button is designed with, it is designed with print. But button can do a lot of things. It can do save and all these. What these are? What these are? What is save? What is print? What is open? What these are? These are called as methods. So that means button can do all these. These are methods. What button can do here? These are all called as what? Properties. And when it can do this, when it can do this, you know, when it can do this, when we click. So click is what? Click is an event. So not only click, mouse over, it can do. On click, it can do. On right click, it can do. On double click, it can do. This is event. So whenever you are designing any element, that element comprises of properties, methods, and events. So we are configuring the properties, methods, and events. Now, technically here, form is also an element. Form is also an element, right? What is it? Form is also an element. Form is also an element. What this form element can do? The form element can perform some activities. What it can do? So form method indicates, so it defines the actions performed by form. Method defines the actions performed by form. And very important, html form can perform two methods. Can be html form can be designed for two methods. Can be designed for two methods. One is get, another is post. There are so many other methods, but form is not directly designed for them. Every HTML form is designed for either get or post. Form method contains two actions. It can be get or it can be post. What is difference? This is what asked in many interviews. What is difference between get and post? So what is the purpose of get and post? Actually, technically, you see here, important is get is used to fetch information from server, and post is used to submit information to server. Get is used for fetching and post is used for submitting. For example, I will show you a simple here. I will show you Amazon. I will give you a form here. This is a sign in form. Now tell me, what is the method of this form? What is the method of this form? Is it get or post? What is the method of this form? Is it get or post? Is it get or post? So it is post. It is post because it submits your email and phone number to server, which will verify. Am I right? That means it is not fetching information, it is submitting. That means it is post. It is post. Later, but very important is, when a form comes onto screen, every time it comes with a get request only. That means here so many points are there. The default method for form is get. That means you don't use any method. By default, it will be get. If you forget to use the method, then it is get. And suppose on that get, if you try to submit information, so here the question asked in interviews is, the point is get is used for fetching and post is used for submitting. Get is used for fetching and post is used for submitting. Now the question asked is, can we submit information on get? The answer is yes, but not recommended. but not recommended. But not recommended. Why? I will tell you the point. That means by default method is get. If you don't write any method, it will submit on which method? Get. Submitting on get method is not recommended. We can submit data on get, but not recommended. Why? Because you need to know these points. So get versus post. What is difference? I already given a table in your HTML documentation. Get versus post a table, complete table is there. I posted a single document na HTML complete tutorial. In that complete difference table is there. I will explain the differences here. First point is technically get submits data as query string. What is query string? I will show you. Get submits data on as query string. So data will be appended into URL. Data is appended into URL. So everyone can view, anyone can view, right? Anyone can view your data. Anyone can view your data. It is not safe. It is not safe. It is easy to hack. It is easy to hack. It is easy to hack. And very important is it is stored. It is stored. It is stored in browser logs. Browser logs means in history. That means even you close the browser, they can see the history and identify your data. Even you clean the history, anybody can bookmark. It can be bookmarked. The data can be bookmarked. So it is easy to hack. It is easy to view. Everybody can see it. It can be bookmarked. It is present in browser history. It is not safe. It is not safe. And very important is because data is appended in URL, you cannot submit complex data. You cannot submit complex data like binary type data. Like binary type data, you cannot submit, like images and documents, you cannot submit. We have limit for data. The data limit is 2048 characters. Maximum 2048 characters you can submit, not more than that. So these are all the problems on submitting data on GET request. For example, I will show you here. See, as of now, don't worry. Just observe the concept. I am removing this form design, and here I will put a heading inside register, and I am giving, observe carefully. Don't worry about what I am writing inside form. Just see the concept. I am writing password and input type password. Later you are going to learn about this. So name is equal to password. And here we have a button. So register. Now don't worry about what I written inside. Just observe the concept. Okay. Now see here. Now I will open the form. This is the form we are having. And you right click, open, inspect. This is the debugging tools. In debugging tools, go to network category. Network. In network category, once you go to network category, after going to network category, once refresh the page. When I refresh the page, you can see register.html came. You can see register.html came. You click on it and you can see here the request. The request method is get. By default, I haven't given any method. By default, which method is used? Get. That means every time the default method is get only. And you see here, I'm writing method. Suppose I'm using method as what? Get. Capital, small, anything doesn't matter here. So just traditionally I given. Now see here, observe now here, I am typing the password. I am typing the password here, some password, right? And observe carefully. To hide the password, we have techniques. So input type is equal to password. Okay. And you see now here, I am typing the password and what I am typing is not visible, right? But observe carefully. After typing, I click on register. This data is submitted by form and see the data is submitted in the URL. Anybody can see it. So that is not safe. It is easy to hack your data. It is easy to hack your data. It is not safe, right? It is easy to hack your data. So it hack your data. That is not safe, right? That is the problem. So when you are using get, these are the issues with the get request. Get submits data as query string. This is called query string. That is called query string. You will learn later in detail about them. And you see, so it is appended in URL and anyone can view your data. It is not safe. It is easy to hack. It is stored in browser logs. That means if I go to the browser history, so I go to the browser history. In the browser history, this is the register. It will show what password I have submitted. You see here. I can see that. So this is not safe. Anybody can bookmark it. Observe carefully. I can go to favorites. I can add that and you can see I am adding that into the favorites. Add into the favorites, register. It is there. Then what is advantage here? Next time I can access from the favorites. The register I can access directly, that password will come. Anybody can bookmark the data. Bookmark the data. It is not safe. It is not safe. So the point here is you can submit, and very important, data is submitted in the browser URL. Then you cannot submit pictures, graphics, documents because it is only plain text. Binary type complex data cannot be submitted, and we have limit on only 2048 characters lengthy data you can store. You cannot store complex data. So, but one advantage is that then you may ask, like, if it is so much problem, then why they have given a chance of submitting on get? You are able to submit on get means they have enabled you to submit on get. They should disable na? If it is not safe, if it is not good, then they should disable. They are enabling this facility and saying that don't use every time. But then when to use it? So what is advantage of this get is you can cache the data. Cache the data. Cache the data. That means cache is nothing but it can be stored in buffer temporary memory. That means, for example, suppose you are fetching some data which is not required with security. That means, for example, you are watching some list of products and anybody can view that list of products. There is no restriction, there is no security. Then what we do is that list of products we can store in buffer. If it is get request, it is stored in buffer. What is advantage of storing in buffer? If I want to watch it again, I don't need to contact server. Directly from buffer I can access. So it will be faster. That means you can view data. We can view data faster. We can view data faster because it comes from buffer. That means actually it saves, we call it as, it saves round trips. Round trip means every time going to server and getting it. Without every time going to server and getting it, it will keep in memory. And if you request again and again, it will get it from the memory. So it will be easy. But that is not good for any private data. Suppose your passwords, credit card informations, that is all not safe. That is all not safe. However, these days browser says that it is safe, but you can't trust them. Browser says that it is safe. Browser says that save your password. I will remind you next time. That is not safe. Browser says that it is safe, right? But we can't trust that. We can't trust that because anything online is not safe. Anything online is not safe. Even you give lot of security, there are certain features to crack the security. And that is the reason hackers can hack. Remember, hackers hacked NASA website. Hackers hacked our CBI website. That means if they have no job and that is only their job, they can sit and they can crack. Right? That means a small loophole is enough. They can crack. That means you will be surprised that NASA people website somebody hacked. Means now you can imagine that it is also having some technical problems. Some loopholes are there. Right? That is the reason online there is no permanent security. So that is the reason you have to use any online security related things with limits. With limits. You cannot think that it is safe, right? Anything online is not safe because we have so many things for extracting and using it. For example, you see, best example, you know Tim Cook, right? So iPhone head CEO, when he visited Hyderabad a few years back, he came to Hyderabad. So when he visited Hyderabad, in Hyderabad, first he want to see Jagdish Market. That is the location where iPhones are unlocked with just 1,000 rupees, 2,000 rupees, 3,000 rupees. He is very surprised that how these people are hacking my servers and unlocking it. That means iPhone like people cannot prevent the unlocking of those phones that people bring to you as gift, right? Right? They are unlocking it. That means they are hacking their servers and unlocking this, right? There are certain things with security, without security also. The problem here is you cannot prevent it. So better take precautions. So data on GET request, yes, but not recommended every time. When you recommend to submit data on GET request, if it is not required with safety and we need regularly, in that case, then better go with which method? GET. Technically, that is the concept of GET request. So then what is the best option? What is the best option? POST. That means if you submit data on POST, so data will be submitted into form body. Data will be submitted into form body. What is advantage of submitting data into form body? It is not in URL. In URL, it is little bit safer than GET request. Safer than GET request. It is hard to hack. It is hard to hack. And very important is, so it is not stored in browser logs. That means even after submitting in history, it will not be there. You cannot bookmark. That is good. That means it is safer than GET request. And there is no limit. You can submit any lengthy data. You can submit any complex data, right? You can submit any lengthy data. You can submit any complex data and you can handle it. That means data can be submitted in so many ways, right? 1 second. Right. So what is the advantage of the POST method? The advantage of POST method is all these things. But one problem is there. Data cannot be cached. That means if I want the data again and again, every time I have to communicate with the server. Every time I need to communicate with the server. For example, you see now, so form method, I'm configuring the form method. I will just give here the instead of GET, I will give as POST. I give as POST and let's refresh this page again. And you see now I am submitting here and here I am submitting the details. So suppose some some name I entered, and I clicked on register. The data is submitted, but it is not there in URL. It is showing some error. The error is nothing but it is expecting some server side page to catch the data and use it. Currently, we don't have any that server side. We don't have any server side. So there is nothing for submitting the data on server side. That is the reason. Later, what we can do, we can create a server side page and submit data to that page. It will collect the page and use it. It will collect the data and use it. Currently, we don't have anything to submit. So, but advantage is it is not in the URL now. It is not in the URL. That means it is safe. It is not even stored in the browser history, but it is submitted. But it is submitted that you will able to collect and see with backend technologies. So what is difference between get and post is this. How we can manage the difference between get and post. I hope you are clear with this, right? Now, important here, one more concept is after understanding how we can configure these methods, we need to learn how to create controls inside it. Text box, buttons, and some more attributes are there that we'll see tomorrow, right? And don't miss these 2-3 days sessions, because once you miss this, you can't handle, because this will continue for CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, everywhere we have to work with forms. So forms concept you cannot miss, okay? Tomorrow we will continue with designs, how to create the forms and all, okay? Right.